Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivada Hari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivada Hari. Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Jamuna Tiyavanam Sari Jamuna Tiravanam Sari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadari Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Jamuna Tiravanam Sari Jamuna Tiravanam Sari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radhe Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radhe Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaur Pimanandi. Jayam Vishupad Paramahamsa, Tri Prajagacharya Stotra Satta, Sri Srimad His Divine Grace, Sirabai Charan Narvan Bhakti Raghava Swami, Sri Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Skandi Biti, Founder Acharya Divine Grace, Sri Prabhupada Ki, Namacharya Sri Lahiri Thakur Ki, Samavata Bhakti Vrinda Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Grantaraj Bhagavatam Ki, Danny Tagore Pimanandi, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to see Guru and to see Gauranga, all glories to see the Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Sarakaya Taksurunmiritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavam Shyam Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paritana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakha Hare Krishna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutidevi Pranamami Hare Priye Vansakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Nara, Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Praya Sabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an unshakable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Sakara Bhagavan Rishi Nisreya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat. The Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God as Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripatamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yatkripatamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, welcome to our morning Bhagavatam class, continuing from chapter 17 of the first canto, which is entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali. And today we're doing text number 7. Yes. Yes. Tvam va mrinala dabalaha padair nyunaha pada charan vrisha rupena kim kaschid devo na parikhedayan Tvamba Brinala Davala Padara Nyuna Padacharan Visha Rupena Kim Kaschid Devuna Parikedayan Tvamba Mrinala Dabala Padara Nyuna Padacharan Visharupena Kim Kaschid Devuna Parikedayan Tvamba Mrinala Dabala Padara Nyuna Padacharan Visharupena Kim Kaschid Devona Parikedayan
Vamba Mrinala Dhavalaha Pade Nunaha Padacharan Visharupena Kim Kaschid Devo Naha Parikedayan Tvamba Mrinal Dhavalam Pade Nunaha Padacharan Visharupena Kim Kaschid Devo Naha Parikedayan Tvamba Mrinal Dhavala Padair Nyuna Padacharan वृषरूपेण किं कश्चित्
वृषरूपेण किं कश्चित्
देवो खेदयन्
देवो न परिखेदयन्
Tvam,
त्वं
you,
you
va,
va
either, Mrinala,
Nrinala
Mrinala Davala,
Nrinala
as white as a lotus,
as white as a lotus
Padai, of 3 legs, Nyunaha, being deprived,
being deprived
Pada,
Pada
on 1 leg, Charan, moving, Vrisha, bull, Rupena,
Rupena
in the form of,
in the form of
Kim,
Kim
whether,
whether
Kaschit,
Kashchit
someone,
someone
Deva,
Deva
demigod, Na,
na
us,
us
Parikedayan,
Parikedayan
causing grief. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace C. Bhakti Raghava Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Then he, Maharaj Parikshit, asked the bull, "Oh, who are you? Are you a bull as white as a white lotus, or are you a demigod? You have lost 3 of your legs and are moving on only 1. Are you some demigod causing us grief in the form of a bull?" Kindly repeat after me. Then he, Maharaj Parikshit, asked the bull, "Oh, who are you?
who are you
Are you a bull
are you bull
as white as a white lotus,
as white
white as a white lotus
or are you a demigod?
or are you a demigod
You have lost 3 of your legs
you have lost 3
of
of
your
your
legs
legs
on only 1.
and are moving on only one.
Are you some demigod
are you some demigod
causing us grief
causing us grief
in the form of a bull?"
In the form of a bull.
Purport. At least up to the time of Maharaj Parikshit, no one could imagine the wretched condition of the cows and the bull. Maharaj Parikshit, therefore, was astonished to see such a horrible scene. He inquired whether the bull was not a demigod, assuming such a wretched condition to indicate the future of the cow and the bull. Translation again. Then he, Maharaj Parikshit, asked the bull, "Oh, who are you? Are you a bull as white as a white lotus, or are you a demigod? You have lost 3 of your legs and are moving on only 1. Are you some demigod causing us grief in the form of a bull?" So Parikshit Maharaj is addressing first the cow and now the bull, who is standing on only 1 leg. This, of course, is in reference to the bull representing dharma, the dharma, the 4 pillars of dharma, which are necessary, which are the basis for creating a proper uh, civilization. This has been, of course, referred to before, how throughout the various yugas, different ages, these principles of dharma become less and less present to the point where we are now in Kali Yuga. They diminish actually as the ages, we could say, deteriorate from Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali Yuga, where now only one, and even that one quality, which is Satyam, is also being less and less followed. So I think we'll read a few verses. It is underlying how such kind of scene, such kind of a situation where both mother cow and the bull were were being mistreated was, as Prabhupada mentions here, no one could imagine, was inconceivable. And of course, that was one of the prominent signs of the beginning of this fallen age in which we are living now, the age of Kali. So I just want to connect this verse with the following one as well, which is text number 8. I'll just read. If you have it, you can follow also. Najatu Kauravendranam
Najatu Kauravendranam
Dordanda Parirambhite
Dordanda Parirambhite
Bhutale Nupatantyasmin
Bhutale Nupatantyasmin
Vinate Praninam Shuchaha.
Vinate Praninam Shaha.
Translation and purport. Now for the first time in a kingdom well protected by the arms of the kings of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of royal negligence. Purport. The protection of the lives of both the human beings and the animals is the first and foremost duty of a government. A government must not discriminate in such principles. It is simply horrible for a pure-hearted soul to see organized animal killing by the state in this age of Kali. Maharaj Parikshit was lamenting for the tears in the eyes of the bull, and he was astonished to see such an unprecedented thing in his good kingdom. Men and animals were equally protected as far as life was concerned. That is the way in God's kingdom. So we were touching on this point a few days back regarding the sacredness of life, the sacredness of all forms of life, and the stringent laws of nature. Of course, what is clearly pointed out here is how this is the foremost and first duty of those who are in leadership positions. We were discussing about the three main activities of rulers, of kings. The first one actually being protection, which is being reiterated here. Protection, administration, and welfare activities. Yes, so protection means actually many things, especially, or what is being underlined here is the protection of lives, protecting the lives of not only human beings, but and also not only animals. Here, of course, it's making reference to human beings and animals, but protection of all different forms of life. Trees, for example, also need to be protected. One of the again, very sinful activity. This all, when we don't follow this principle, then we go against the principles of dharma. That means we commit sinful activities, for which all kinds of karmic reactions await those who are responsible. So that's why it is so critical and essential to have trained and qualified leaders in society who will know, who will have been trained in these principles of dharma. In the principles especially of Sanatan Dharma. For us as devotees, when we speak of dharma, we speak of Sanatan Dharma. Dharma can be and is also understood in connection with so many different aspects. Just like there is dharma in the general sense of responsibility. Fathers in a family, mothers or women, we speak of Stri Dharma, the different types of dharma. But there is the concept of Sanatan Dharma. Actually, all of the different dharmas for individuals within society are also connected with and part of Sanatan Dharma. Just like we speak of Stri Dharma. What is that dharma of women? So women have particular dharma. Men also have particular dharma within the category of the varnas. So within the Vedic culture, actually everything is very scientifically described. Very scientifically, we could say design. There is a whole plan, there's a whole design, which is based on the natural laws of nature. It's like we all have different natures according to the modes of material nature. We are all carrying from previous lifetimes so many both positive and negative reactions of our previous activities. It's called the law of karma. We are born with a mixture of good and bad reaction. Mm. So everything is, nothing happens for a devotee, for someone who studies the Vedic knowledge, nothing happens by chance. We speak of providence. Providence is connected directly with the law of karma. Mm. It is ordained by nature based on individuals' activities. So therefore, the Vedic culture gives so much of stress and importance on giving proper knowledge, understanding, training, especially those who are going to take responsibility of dependence. As we hear from Bhagavatam, King Rishabhadev instructing one should not take on different duties or responsibilities. As king, as guru, as father, as leader in society, unless one is able to deliver one's dependence. So it comes out, of course, in many of the pitiful condition, which that was just the very beginning, of course. Parikshit Maharaj is seeing, coming across this bull and cow, which, as mentioned here, was never never seen before. So what is being pointed out here, of course, is that this is primarily the duty and responsibility of kings or those who are leaders, but we should try to understand that it is not only their responsibility. It is actually the responsibility of every individual, especially in many ways, even more so the responsibility of householders. Just like it is in the Grihastha ashram, householders who beget children. Brahmacharis, sannyasis, they don't enter family life, so they don't have children. So householders are especially responsible for such dependence, and they are especially also meant to be directly protecting the cows. Of course, in our modern day society, practically none of our householders have cows. So then they will give a good reason, I don't have any cows to protect. But one needs to more closely study the subject matter and ask that question, well, why do most of our householders don't have cows? So it is, of course, we can say, well, that's how society is organized. But that should bring us to the point of asking, well, is this the proper way that society? Obviously, it is not. It is not the proper way. It means we live in a very abnormal social condition. The vast majority of us, when we are so distant from the protection of cows. We hear about, like if we hear from Bhagavatam, if we attend Bhagavatam classes, we'll hear about it. Or if we read Prabhupada's books or our Vedic literatures. But most of this will not be so meaningful to us until and unless we actually are living in that kind of environment where we can more clearly understand the the role and responsibility that householders especially have. Just like here, it's mainly focusing on the king. That is clearly indicated in the first line of the purport, that the protection of the lives of both human beings and animals, is the first and foremost, isn't it? First and foremost duty of a government. That concept of first and foremost duty of a government, we should extend that. We should extend that to householders. Because as described by Narada Muni, and as also explained by Srila Prabhupada and other Vaishnava acharyas, that is meant to be a very integral part of the prescribed duties of householders. So in other words, if we find, as we do in modern day society, so much of neglect and so much of abuse for the cows, not only the cows, other animals, other living entities, the land, isn't it? Then we should more closely analyze and try to understand how all of us, especially again those who are householders, by not taking up what is meant to be the prescribed duties, we're also responsible for this, we could say, very fallen condition in which society finds itself today. This needs to be a topic that is brought up and discussed much more than it is. And so these are a few points. Actually, the subject matter is a very broad and a very deep subject matter, but at least some aspects of this we should try to understand. Yes.
I would like to ask that at the present moment, as I see 30 years and plus in ISKCON, The ISKCON is still is depend on the book distribution and the mass preaching in cities. So they approach
ISKCON as if
90% people in cities,
yes,
and they don't go to villages.
so much.
So it's natural that when you preach to citizens, they will not keep cows after a few days to join to ISKCON. They don't know what to do. Only villagers know something about co-protection, something about how to deal with animals. So if we just keep that not to touch villagers, how we can get any improvement? And the parents will guide their children to the same consciousness as they have.
Yes.
So they will find some job for
Yes, yes,
their
yes.
children, maybe better job, maybe some more pious job, but still they will not really see that the life of country would be really the best for the next generation. So how to change this?
Yes. So what you're pointing out is going to the core of the problem, that uh, after 50 plus years of our society being established, the vast majority of our devotees are in the cities because the vast majority of our temples are in the cities, and majority of our devotees are engaged in professions that are connected with urban living as well, and very few live in villages. Very few of our devotees live in villages or go to villages as well. So naturally, yes, the question, because what we are reading in the Bhagavatam, what is being explained and recommended, doesn't equate with what is happening with us as devotees or with us as a community. So naturally the question comes then how to address this situation, how to change the mentality of devotees to make all of us understand more and more how to introduce this type of understanding that that the vast majority, that's the point I'm making, is that the vast majority of householders should be connected with cows, should be living with cows, should be actually living not in the cities but in the country. And how to bring about this kind of understanding or realization. There are a number of points that can be made. Ultimately it depends on, it's the responsibility and duty of each and every individual person to, to think about, meditate upon what is being conveyed in the pages of the Bhagavatam, what is being conveyed by our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, who stressed this aspect as well. And whenever we try to explain something or bring people to some awareness of something, then there needs to be more discussions, there needs to be various opportunities given for individuals, and that needs to be introduced or done on different levels within the kind of organization that we have, which is a global, international society. And unless we have our goals and objectives properly adjusted, just like you mentioned, after 50 years of being an organized, established, registered society, we're celebrating the registration of ISKCON a few days back. Then the main activity for temples in the big cities is connected with, as you rightly mentioned, to whatever extent, and it varies, of course, from one place to another, on book distribution, which is, of course, an important aspect, or on the chanting of the holy name. So that's why, for example, we have introduced these Varnasrama weekend retreat to bring about, to explain, to bring more awareness, consciousness to people about, the different, we could say, stages, or more accurately, the 4 different phases that Prabhupada envisioned how we are meant to introduce Krishna consciousness. Most devotees to this day don't even know about these 4 phases, isn't it? And we are therefore, to a large extent, the majority of our devotees all over the world focused on only 3 of those articulated phases, that Prabhupada described many, many years ago, even before going to the Western countries. And those 4 phases, unless we understand them clearly, unless we understand the link and connection from one to another and how they are meant to be progressively, we could say, introducing the whole package of what Krishna consciousness is meant to be. In other words, the fullness or the full program, the complete concept of what it is meant to become Krishna conscious, the full concept of what the movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is meant to do. So that's part of our defined goal and objective. Our goal and objective, of course, primary goal and objective is to strive for self-realization and to give maximum opportunity for people to do that individually, collectively. But what we fail to understand is that there is, in addition to the holy name, in addition to transcendental literatures, in addition to temples, in addition to city temples, because mostly we have city temples, in addition to developing congregations, mainly primarily within these city temples, there's a whole world out there which can best be provided with the needed knowledge, information, and tools and methods by which the whole of society can be functioning more in the lines that are described in the Bhagavatam, which is not an easy thing to even convey or to explain. In other words, we are meant, actually, as a society, ISKCON society is meant to actually reintroduce what we have lost for the last few hundred years, especially what we're losing every single day. It means this more simple lifestyle where we learn to take the minimum of what we need from nature to meet our different basic necessities of life, as opposed to the opposite of what is taking place, where we're exploiting, etc. So, without any doubt, part of the solution, I would say, probably main solution is to provide that type of knowledge and training to our devotees. Of course, even to convince them that there's a need to take up this kind of training is not easy in itself. Devotees will give so many different excuses why, land is unavailable, it's not practical, we're not born in the country. So many different, the long list of excuses one will give as to why this is not practical to do. But what we fail to do, and what we are not sufficiently conveying to our rank and file devotees and to leaders in general as well, at different levels, is that the more we allow present day civilization to continue, then it is every single moment becoming more and more destructive, and it's directly connecting with the very point that is here. Prabhupada mentions how modern civilization is a killing civilization at all levels. So naturally the duty, the responsibility lies can you check? I saw somebody carrying something going that way, and I don't see him coming out here. Through more systematic education and creating awareness, then we can hope for some changes. Otherwise, I don't see how we can correct the situation. So, one very important part, and that's in many ways why we are here, Prabhupada instructed about in this connection, to establish Varnashram colleges. So it's within an organized, systematic manner that we can present this knowledge, which is given in the pages of the Bhagavatam, and definitely the more that takes place, more people will become aware.
I will emphasize this principle of the different ages, the dharmas reduced, and but also Krishna says that wherever there is a adharmic activities come out, he comes and re-establish the dharma. So that means that Krishna didn't re-establish full dharma when he came in different incarnations, or he is re-established, but very quickly it again becomes spoiled. That's one part. Another part, when Krishna came in 5,000 years ago, he brought a lot of devotees with him, like Yadus and Vrishnis.
Yes.
But their habit was not showing the purity. They were used to drink alcoholic beverages, and there are many pastimes when they become mad because of that, and they fight it, like in Anuruddha's wedding. So why Krishna is showing that culture without purity when he is supposed to maintain the dharma and they are leaders. So
within, even when the Lord comes, he's just like when Krishna came 5,000 years ago. Not everyone, even though he was, so many people saw him or associated with him, not everyone, very few people, Prabhupada explained, very few people actually accepted him or recognized him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he came for a purpose, which was to, through the battle of Kurukshetra, where he gave the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita to reestablish the proper knowledge, because the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita were not being followed. So as long as we are here in the material world, there's going to be negative influences that will be there. And I mean, we can ask the same question. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago. And soon after he left, the whole movement just went astray for about 300 years. How to understand that? So that's the nature of the material world. The Lord comes for some specific purpose, and the forces of material nature, the forces of Maya, are very strong, and those who don't take advantage of what the Lord has given or the teachings that He has given, which are always available, then they fall under the influence, which will be more or less present according to the different ages. In the Satya Yuga, we don't hear about the kind of conditions that are now being described in the beginning of Kali Yuga. So level of purity will vary according to ages, and will vary according to what extent individuals take advantage of the teachings that the Lord gives when He either Himself incarnates or sends different representatives. Any other? Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Sri Prabhupada ki Jai.